Hi there and welcome to your YIN yoga class. This is all about restoring and rebooting your system. So we're going to start by sitting in an easy pose. So just sitting with your legs crossed, with your right leg in front of your left, and you're going to fold forward as much as you can. Now your back doesn't need to be straight here. You're just folding over and relaxing, and you can put your head on a block or your hands or bolster, anything that you have. And just settle in and try and find some stillness. This YIN practice is all about restoring and rebooting. So if you feel a wee bit fatigued and tired, maybe stressed, this is a really nice practice for you. So just remembering to try and keep your seat bones on the floor and just coming as far forward as possible. You want to be able to feel something happening, but you shouldn't ever be in pain or have pins and needles or sharp pains. If that's the case, then just back off. So just settle in, find your breath, and taking nice big deep breaths in and out your mouth. And we're going to change over our legs now. So putting the other leg in front, the left leg in front in a nice cross-legged position. And then slowly walking your hands forward to come forward into your forward fold. And there is a curve in your spine there. We want to get a nice lower back stretch here. And it's really important in YIN yoga to find your stillness. Get yourself comfy and then try to just not fidget. Easier said than done sometimes. And that using your breath can help with that. So just settling in for the next few seconds. So gently just walking your hands back up. Now taking your time, there's no rush between these poses at all. And we're going to come on to our child's pose. So putting your big toes together and widening your knees out as far as you feel comfortable with, and just popping your bottom back to your heels. Letting your hands come out in front of you. And you can always rest your head on a block, remember, or blanket, whatever you have. And you can also rest your bottom on a blanket or a block as well if it's not quite coming down to your heels. So you can play about with the wideness of your knees. Use the wideness that's feels best to you. You want to feel that nice stretch in your inner thighs and in your glutes and your back. And if your hands are out in front of you there, you'll feel a really nice stretch in your shoulders as well. And just close your eyes. Again, come back to that breath. We are restoring and rebooting, remember. So whilst you're still feeling the stretch, it's all about just calming the mind as well. And just settle in there for the next little while. Find that stillness. Feel the body. Still doing a little bit of work, a little bit of stretching. And relax. So just starting to deepen the breath and thinking about just walking the hands back up. Remember to take your time between these poses. And we're going to come down onto our front in a butterfly variation. So coming down onto your front, you are going to bend your knees, put the soles of your feet together. And in terms of your head and your hands, you can really do whatever's comfortable. I like to rest my head on my hands, but you can put them down by your side and rest your cheek on the mat. Now this can be quite an intense pose, so again play about with that distance between the knees and just letting your feet rest lightly against each other. And they may not be at the same height as mine, they may be much higher than that. They may also be resting on the floor, but probably you'll find them kind of hovering somewhere in between. We're just feeling the opening. Again, no pain. Try and find your stillness. Use your breath to help you. So just starting to deepen that breath again, starting to think about moving, and take your time coming out of this one. Straighten your legs out, give them a wee stretch, do whatever feels good, because it can be quite intense, that pose. And then putting the top of the feet on the floor and widening them out, maybe about hip width or to the width of your mat. We're going to come up into a Sphinx pose. So that means bending the elbows here. And the angle of those elbows is really up to yourself. Most important thing being that you can feel it in your lower back. You will feel a compression, and that's fine. That's what you should be feeling. But keep those shoulders down and back. Keep your neck nice and relaxed. And if that height is too much for you, just bring your elbows forward to decrease the angle in the back there. So again, play about with it for a wee second to get it right. And relax those bottom cheeks as well. It's really tempting to clench on here. And you can adjust the legs too. You can widen them if it's a little pinching a little bit or be a bit uncomfortable, or bring them together. So starting to think about moving again, And just really take your time, remember. And we're just going to slowly roll onto our back now for a reverse pigeon pose. So getting yourself all nice and comfortable, we're going to lie down. We're going to keep that left leg bent and foot on the floor, and we're going to cross our right leg over our left knee. Make sure your ankle's right over there and send that right knee away. And you can stay in this position. Or what you can do is lift that left leg up and hold on to the back of the thigh. You can use a strap here as well. You can even put that left shin in and increase the stretch as well if you want to. Just starting to think about moving again, gently lowering back down, and with that right leg be really careful. You might want to lay it out long on the mat just to get a little bit of feeling back into it. And then of course we're going to do the same on the other side. So bending the right knee, foot on the floor, left leg over, make sure that ankle's over and the foot is flexed, and you can stay here, or you can lift up that right leg and hold on to the thigh or the shin, but make sure your spine is nice and flat on the floor and your tailbone is close to the floor as well. If that's coming up a wee bit, then maybe just take it down a notch or two. But again, you should be feeling this lovely big stretch in your left hip, and it should be feeling pretty deep. And just feel free to close your eyes, remember, and just keep breathing. So starting to deepen that breath and start to think about coming out of the pose. You're just going to take your legs down again. Lay that left leg down long if you want to, just to let the blood flow come back in. And for our next pose, we're going to do a supported bridge pose. So if you have a block, then wonderful, you can use that. Or you can use a blanket or a bolster, rolled up blanket is quite good as well. That's it. So both feet on the floor. And you might want to bend your knees to get up. We're going to pop the block or the blanket underneath our sacrum. Now, the height of the block is up to you. It can be flat like this, or you can put it up to its next level there and make sure that there's no pinching, no pain or anything like that at all. Okay, now you can keep your knees bent, or you can have them flat out like this if you want to. See what variation suits you best, but it shouldn't be painful, remember. And what we're looking for here is the nice support in the lower back, and those hip flexors are getting a really nice stretch. Hands you can do what you like with, just make sure you're comfortable and just settle in there for the next wee moment or two, breathing. It's quite an unusual position to be in. And if you've not got a block or a blanket, you can always bend your knees and hold yourself up in a bridge pose. So from here we're going to take a variation. If you would like to, you can stay in the first variation if you want, but you're going to bend your knee just like this and hold on to your knee. Now you can have a strap here too if your knee's not accessible from down there. And remember to keep checking on that block. You can see from here my block's slipping a little bit forward. So check in with the block as well, and readjust it if you need to. It's really important to get comfortable and to have the right support. So you can stay again, as I say, just in the first position, or have your knee up and in and feel the stretch, and it will feel a little bit more intense on your left hip flexor now. So time to swap on over, let the other leg go along. Just be careful, remember, because you are on the block, and remember to keep readjusting that block. If you feel it's going a little bit squinty, you can readjust it. Really important that you've got the right support, and same on the other side. And remember, you can have a strap around that knee. Keep your breathing going. We don't want to be hoisting that knee in towards us. We just want to be lightly resting our hands on it to enable that lovely nice stretch on our glutes. So from here we're just going to vary it a little. Now again, you can stay where you were, or you can take the block down to its lower setting just like this, and we're going to put our feet up in the air and point your toes. Now by all means you can have your knees a little bit bent here, absolutely, hands are just out by the side. This is a nice restorative pose. So you can have your knees bent, your toes flexed, and you can do little exercises like pointing and flexing your toes as well. See how good that feels. Good for your circulation. Or you can open your legs out wide, feeling a nice big stretch. Find the variation that suits you. But as long as you're nice and comfortable, and this is more of a restorative pose, legs up, and you can do this on the wall as well. Remember, you can, if you're next to a wall, you can pop your legs up on the wall and get a nice relaxation. So just feeling that breathing, and we're going to start thinking about lowering our legs down, but start to bend your knees first if they're not already bent, and lower them down. And then you can take that block away. Feel, as you take the block or the bolster away, feel how much space your lower back feels like it has now. And then we're going to have a Shavasana. So a wee relaxation. Get your socks on, or your jumper, or a blanket, or an eye mask, whatever you need in your Shavasana. You can get pretty cold lying down there. Feet about hip width apart, everything's flopping out and relaxed. Top of the hands on the floor, and just settle onto the mat. Feel nice and heavy. And this is where we reap the benefit from everything that we've just done. We allow our body to recalibrate and just find a little bit of stillness, and you're not stressing anything at this point in time. It's a total relaxation pose, letting your breath do what it wants. So just letting your breath deepen again after your short relaxation. And remember not to get up too quickly. We're just going to start wiggling toes. wiggling fingers, and inviting the movement in a way that feels good to you. Shuffling around, having a stretch if you like, and then slowly rolling onto your side. And you can pause on your side as well, just before coming up to sit. Sitting in a cross-legged position. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, and we'll finish with a namaste. Namaste, and thank you so much for joining me for a restore and reboot yin practice. I hope you're feeling fabulous. And if you enjoyed this video, please do like, comment, and also subscribe to the channel. Thank you.